the Australian National University School of Music, also called ANU, and this is a crisis analysis presentation. So ANU was founded in 1946 by an act of the Australian Federal Parliament. This means that it has a very special relationship with the federal government in Australia as it was founded by it. The School of Music, part of ANU, was founded in 1965, and it's modeled after Juilliard School, meaning that its curriculum and its setup is modeled after Juilliard. So this curriculum supports the professional and vocational needs of its students, and the mission of the School of Music is to follow the mission of the university as a whole in working to meet the needs of national and regional community, as well as create a musically aware and a critically informed citizenry. So the crisis we're going to be talking about is centered largely around an economic issue. So budget cuts. They were needed in the university, and the chancellors and vice chancellors decided that these budget cuts needed to come from the university somewhere, and so they decided the School of Music. So the School of Music staff was cut by an equivalent of 13 full-time positions. That means that the School of Music staff was cut nearly in half in one day. So the restructure of the School of Music eliminated about $1.3 million from the $2.7 million deficit of the Australian National University as a whole. So they changed this curriculum to model after Harvard and Oxford's music school curriculum, and now only one degree is offered there. You can choose 2 tracks, meaning music performance and music inquiry. The crisis really stemmed just from unhappiness of the stakeholders and just the public as a whole. And so how the organization, or the School of Music, how they responded to this was that they really tried to brand the change as restructured, rather than saying words like laid off employees or downsizing. And they also blamed the university through the use of budget cuts. They kind of use a scapegoat method. They also did some positive things, though. They likened the new curriculum to institutions of higher education, such as Cambridge, Oxford, and Harvard, hoping that the prestigious name would help with this change. And they also hired a new dean to help smooth some things over. Just as the organization responded, so did the media. Within the media, there was large amounts of coverage, ranging from TV interviews to print articles to publications to anything you can think of. Blogs, social media, and video content were also used as well. And so the media really presented a biased message of how terrible the ANU School of Music was for its changes. They really criticized the School of Music, no matter what their response was to any of the questions that the media may have had. Now, stakeholders, they also criticized the School of Music, but they did theirs more through social media. That's how they voiced their opinions, such as Facebook, Twitter, and blogs. The comment sections on blogs and online publications were used extensively. So people would have full conversations and provide more information, say the information was false, inaccurate. Stakeholders just in general were not happy. And the fact that they were not happy stemmed from the fact that the changes being brought to them were such a shock. They were really worried about the reputation of their school, and as many of these stakeholders are alumni, they were worried about their alma mater. And so some recommendations that I have to make sure that something like this doesn't happen again is, first, School of Music officials need to meet with university crisis management personnel before making big decisions like cutting in half the school's faculty. Second, the School of Music really needs to do more research on their stakeholders and know what those stakeholders want and what they don't want. This will help with preventing backlash in the future. Also, they need to work on a better response mechanism. This can be giving stakeholders more information and explanation, and it's going deeper than why. It's explaining the reasoning behind why. And finally, looking at outside factors. This response really made alumni mad, and so that really cuts back on donations. And this is an economic issue is what started this whole thing in the first place. So I think if the School of Music really takes these recommendations to heart and makes these changes, this is something that hopefully will never happen in the future again.